All right, guys, let's take a start. It's IELTS listening section 3. And we go on with section 3. And this is unusual that in section 3 you get one word only. So you never know. Mostly section 3 is for multiple choice questions and matching. But over here we have matching with sentence completion. Okay? So let's take a start. Section 3. Complete the notes below. Write one word and or a number. Very simple, one word and or a number. Background on school marching band. Now, background on school marching band. You know band? Yeah, band and all that. They are going and doing all that stuff. School marching band. So they're going to tell us about school marching band and give some information about that. It. What does it mean? Band, absolutely. So you should read it like band consists of around dash students. Number of students. Very good. If you read it, you will not understand. So if they use any pronoun instead of noun, you should see where does that pronoun go to. For example, it means band. So band consists of around dash students. That means number of students. Question number 21. Let's do it.
So, how are you getting on with your teaching practice at the high school, Joe?
Well, I've been put in charge of the school marching band, and it's quite a responsibility. I'd like to talk it over with you.
Go ahead. You better start by giving me a bit of background.
Okay. Well, the band has students in it from all years. So they're aged 11 to 18, and there are about 50 of them altogether. It's quite a popular activity within the school.
All
I've
right.
never worked...
So, 50. Age group, they said 11 to 16, whatever. But the number of students, they are all about 50. So you will write 50 as 50. Let's go on. It is due. It means band is due to play in a dash band competition. Now listen. Dash band competition. It can be local band competition. It can be international band competition. It can be whatever, right? It's going to be the type of band competition, local or global, right? I play the audio.
They aren't really good enough to enter national band competitions, but they're in a regional one later in the term. Even if they don't win, and I don't expect them to, hopefully it'll be an incentive for them to try and improve.
Yes, hopefully.
So, regional, exactly. They use the word national, but he said they're not good for national, right? Listen again.
They aren't really good enough to enter national band competitions.
They aren't really good enough to enter national band competition. So, band is due to play in a
regional one later in national band competitions, but they're in a regional one later in the term.
They are in the regional one later in the term. Later in the term means due to play. Okay, question number 23. It has been invited means band has been invited to play in the town's dash. Now, whenever they use apostrophe S, for apostrophe S, they can use apostrophe S or they can use preposition of, of, or they don't use anything at all. For example, if it is town's dash, for example, town's meeting, for example, they might say the word town's meeting, meeting of the town meeting, something like that. So let's see, related to that. They have been invited there.
Well, now the town council's organizing a carnival in the summer, and the band has been asked to perform.
Okay.
If you ask me...
Carnival and the band is being asked to perform. Carnival, Carnival. You know carnival, mela? You know mele nu chaliye, ronak hoju katve. Yeah, very boring song. All right, so carnival is the correct answer. Carnival, carnival. All right, now question number 24.
Have you been doing anything with them?
Let's just read it first. Question number 24. They have listened to a talk by a. They have listened to a talk. Talk means a sort of lecture by a dash. So who gave that lecture? And from a we understand it's going to be a noun, but it will not be a proper noun. Because with proper nouns, we don't use article. It's going to be a common noun. For example, talk by a teacher, talk by a lecturer, talk by a trainer, like that. So let's see.
Have you been doing anything with them? Apart from practicing the music, I mean.
I played a recording I came across of a drummer talking about how playing in a band had changed his life. I think it was an after-dinner speech.
Yeah, drummer, right? Talking about. Please listen to it again. Some of you missed it.
Have you been doing anything with them? Apart from practicing the music, I mean.
I played a recording I came across of a drummer talking about
I played a recording of a drummer talking about.
how playing in a band had changed.
Okay, so they have listened to a talk by a drummer. And how do you spell drummer? D-R-U? Double M-E-R. If you write single M, your answer will be wrong. Drummer. Okay, double M. Question number 25. Joe will discuss a dash with the band. Now, Joe is going to discuss something with the band, right? And they've mentioned a. A means answer will be a noun, and it's going to be a singular noun.
I'm planning to show them that old film from the 1940s, Strike Up the Band, and talk about it with the students. What do you think?
Film. I'm planning to show them a film and talk about it. So talk about it means Joe will discuss a film with the band. F-I-L-M, film, okay? Not film. Question number 26. Joe hopes the band will attend a dash next month. So what are they going to attend? They're going to attend something next month. Let's see.
I'm hoping I can take some of the band to a parade that's going to take place next month.
All
a couple of march.
To a parade that is going to be held next month. How do you spell parade? P-A-R-A-D-E. P-A-R-A, para? Yeah, parade. Okay, that's good. Now, we have questions 27 to 30. We have multiple choice questions again. So, will you read the questions or the problems? Absolutely, you got it now. Because questions are only the members, band members, right? So, and the main question is very important. Questions 27 to 30. What problem does Joe mention in connection with each of the following band members? Now, there are band members and there are the problems. Matching. All right, thank you very much, sir. We are doing matching. I said multiple choice, no, it's matching. So, what problem does Joe mention in connection with each of the following band members? Questions are the band members and problems are mentioned there. Now, I tell you some of their problems. A, makes a lot of mistakes in rehearsals. They will talk about a band member who makes a lot of mistakes. For rehearsal, they can use practice. They can use the word practice and lot of mistakes, flaws and all that. Faults. Option B, keeps making unhelpful suggestions. He gives wrong suggestions to people. Okay? Yeah. So keeps making unhelpful suggestions. Option C, has difficulty with rhythm. He doesn't follow the rhythm. Dum dum dum. Like he doesn't follow the rhythm. He has got problem with that. D, misses too many rehearsals. Means he's absent. Misses too many rehearsals means this member is absent. Whenever there is a rehearsal, he doesn't appear. He doesn't turn up. He doesn't show up. Option E, has a health problem. Now listen, for health problem, they might say breathing issue. They might say breathing problem. They might say he's got flu. He's got this ailment and all that. For health problem, they will discuss that health problem. It can be anything like breathing difficulty and all that. F, doesn't mix with other students. Introvert. Right? He doesn't talk to others. He's introvert. He lives in his own world. He doesn't mix up with others and all that. So, band member, flautist. These are the people who play different things. I think this is the one who is playing flute. Flautist. I don't know exactly. We pronounce it as flautist.
Can I tell you about a few people in the band who I'm finding it quite difficult to cope with? I'm sure you'll have some ideas about what I can do.
Go ahead.
There's a flautist who says she loves playing in the band. We rehearse twice a week after school, but she's hardly ever there. Then she looks for me the next day and gives me a very plausible reason. She says she had to help her mother, or she's been ill, but to be honest, I don't believe her.
Oh dear.
D, misses too many rehearsals. Right? We do rehearsals twice a week and she's hardly ever there. And then she gives reasons, helping mother and ill and all that. I don't believe her. So option D is the right one. All clear? Yes. Yeah, good. And you should see, it's not about health problem. I mean, a health problem with her mother, she says, or she was ill, and he says, I don't believe it. Okay? Question number 28, trumpeter. You know, baja bajane wala, trumpeter.
Any more students with difficulties?
Plenty. There's a trumpeter who thinks she's the best musician in the band, though she certainly isn't. She's always saying what she thinks other people should do, which makes my job pretty difficult.
She sounds a bit of a nightmare.
You can say that again.
B, keeps making unhelpful suggestions. She's always saying what other people should do, right? So keeps making unhelpful suggestions. Is it clear, or do I need to play it again? Okay, I play again, no problem. It's here.
Any more students with difficulties?
Plenty. There's a trumpeter who thinks she's the best musician in the band, though she certainly isn't. She's always saying what she thinks other people should do, which makes my job pretty difficult.
She sounds a bit of a nightmare.
You can say that again.
Okay, next is trombonist. So let's see what is his problem.
One of the trombonists has got an impressive sense of rhythm and could be an excellent musician, except that he has breathing difficulties, and he doesn't really have enough breath for the trombone. He'd be much better.
Breathing difficulty and he doesn't have enough breath. Phonk marni padti hai, not easy. Okay, you blow 10 balloons and then you get to know about that. So what is breathing difficulty? Health problem. Well done. E is the right option for this. And then precautionist, let's see what do they say about him. And even if you don't know the meaning of precautionist, doesn't matter. Just match a problem. Take them as the names even.
One of the percussionists isn't too bad, but he never seems to interact with other people. And he always rushes off as soon as the rehearsal ends.
Okay, he never seems to interact with other people and he leaves as soon as the rehearsal finishes. So that is F, doesn't mix with other students. Now, have you noticed one thing? When I show you the way, your answers are correct, right? So if you see this way on your own, and that is literally possible if you're going to solve the tests with me through the study plans, so that will help you a lot, okay? Once you solve 20, 30 listening tests like this with me, you'll become pro at that, right? Yes, inshallah. Thank you. Okay, guys, now we have section 3 and the trouble. Section 1 and 2, they went very smoothly. Section 3, Maradala. Yeah? Devdas. So, anyways, let's see, don't worry. Questions 21 and 22, double multiple choice. इसमें होता क्या है? इसमें वही होता है जो multiple choice में होता है. ठीक है? होगा क्या? आपने सबसे पहले क्वेश्चन स्टेटमेंट को ध्यान से पढ़ना है. 5 ऑप्शंस है ना, 5 में से 2 के बारे में सच बोलेंगे, 3 के बारे में झूठ बोलेंगे, उल्टा बोलेंगे, ऑपोजिट बोलेंगे, राइट? कैसे बोलेंगे ये मैं आपको एक क्वेश्चन अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन करता हूं, समझिएगा इसको. क्वेश्चन है, क्वेश्चन नंबर 21, 22, इन विच 2 वेज इज डैन फाइनेंसिंग हिज कोर्स. अब डैन एक लड़का है, अपने कोर्स को फाइनेंस कर रहा है. आप समझें, डैन एक फॉरेन स्टूडेंट, ये वो डैन नहीं है जो आप समझ रहे हैं, चुड़ैल नहीं तू डैन है. तो ये डैन नाम है, ठीक है, अंग्रेजी वाला डैन है, इंग्लिश वाला डैन. सो इन विच 2 वेज डैन इज फाइनेंसिंग हिज कोर्स, कि डैन अपने कोर्स को कैसे फाइनेंस कर रहा है, यानी कोर्स के पैसे कहां से ला रहा है? अम्मी अब्बू से लेके आ रहा है, कोई पार्ट टाइम जॉब कर रहा है उधर से पैसे आ रहे हैं, या उसको कोई इसने लोन लिया हुआ है, एजुकेशन लोन भी होता है आप लोगों को पता होगा, उससे मिल रहे हैं, या कोई स्कॉलरशिप मिल रहा है. आपने सिर्फ ये बताना है कि उसके पैसे कहां से आ रहे हैं. तो आपने 5 में से 2 ऑप्शंस जो हैं वो सिलेक्ट करने हैं. अब इसका मतलब ये है, जो 3 ऑप्शंस हैं वहां से उसने फाइनेंशियल सपोर्ट अप्लाई की थी, उन्होंने उसको घास नहीं डाला. यही मतलब है ना कि 5. अब देखिए 5 जगह क्या हैं. ए, ही इज रिसीविंग मनी फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट. कितना लंबा ऑप्शन है, सिर्फ अंडरलाइन करें गवर्नमेंट को, कि गवर्नमेंट उसको पैसे दे रही है. जैसे हमारे यहाँ भी होते हैं ना, लोग पीएचडी करते हैं गवर्नमेंट के स्कॉलरशिप पे, तो अगर तो गवर्नमेंट उसको पैसे दे रही है तो ए आंसर होगा. और अगर वो कहता है कि मैंने गवर्नमेंट पे अप्लाई किया था लेकिन दे रिफ्यूज्ड, तो ए आंसर नहीं होगा. बी. सॉरी, आजकल चल रहे हैं. ओके ओके ओके, दैट्स गुड. अच्छा जी, हिज फैमिली आर विलिंग टू हेल्प हिम. फैमिली, अब्बा जी पैसे दे रहे हैं उसको. फैमिली आर विलिंग टू हेल्प हिम. अगर वो ये कहे माई फैमिली इज नॉट इंटरेस्टेड, अब्बा जी के अपने शौक पूरे नहीं होते तो मेरी पढ़ाई कहाँ से होगी. एनीवेज लाइक दैट, राइट. ये एग्जैक्टली ऐसे ही हालात होते हैं. ओके, हिज फैमिली विलिंग टू हेल्प हिम, कि फैमिली जो है वो उसकी हेल्प कर रही है. ऑप्शन सी, कॉलेज इज गिविंग हिम स्मॉल ग्रांट. कॉलेज गिविंग ग्रांट, कि कॉलेज उसको हर महीने कुछ ग्रांट, ये स्कॉलरशिप को ही कहते हैं, हर महीने इतने पैसे दे देते हैं. डी, लोकल काउंसिल इज सपोर्टिंग हिम. अब लोकल काउंसिल, ए क्या हो गया, गवर्नमेंट. बी क्या हो गया, फैमिली. सी क्या हो गया, कॉलेज. डी क्या होगा, लोकल काउंसिल. और ई, फॉर्मर एम्प्लॉयर इज प्रोवाइडिंग पार्शियल फंड. उसका जो पहले वाला बॉस है ना, हालात उसके अच्छे थे तो वो फॉर्मर जो बॉस है वो उसको पैसे दे रहे. अब ये है. अदरवाइज देखिए कितने लंबे लंबे ऑप्शन है. ऑडियो चल रही है, अब आप अगर सारे ऑप्शंस को पढ़ रहे हैं आपको समझ नहीं आएगी. आपने सिर्फ देखना है गवर्नमेंट है, फैमिली है, कॉलेज है, लोकल काउंसिल है या फॉर्मर एम्प्लॉयर है, कौन पैसे दे रहे हैं. जब क्वेश्चन को इस तरह समझेंगे तो फिर ये आपके लिए आसान होगा. अब करना क्या है, जो आंसर्स नहीं है उनको एलिमिनेट करना है. दो इसमें से चीजें हैं जो आप लोगों ने सिलेक्ट करनी है. ओके, लेट्स टेक अ स्टार्ट. क्वेश्चंस 21 and 22.
Section 3. You will hear two students called Dan and Jeannie discussing their studies at university.
Hi Jeannie, how's it going?
Oh, hello Dan. Pretty well, thanks. Have you managed to get the money for the course yet?
Yes, that's all sorted out now, thanks. It took long enough though. It was practically a year ago that I applied to my local council for a grant, and it took them 6 months to turn me down.
That's really slow.
And I thought I was eligible for government funding, but it seems I was mistaken. So then I asked the boss of the company I used to work for if they would sponsor me, and much to my surprise, he said they'd make a contribution.
But what about college grants and scholarships? There must be some you could apply for.
Yes, there are, but they're all so small that I decided to leave them until I was desperate. And in fact, I didn't need to apply. My parents had been saying that as I already had a job, I ought to support myself through college. But in the end, they took pity on me, so now I've just about got enough.
That's good.
ओके, नोटिस्ड. अच्छा, अब एक जरा एक कोड लिखिएगा. कोड में आपको लिखवाता हूं. लिखें D A E फॉर एलिफेंट. D A E. ओके, आई स्टार्ट अगेन. सबसे पहले लिखें डी के बाद लिखें ए. इसको इकट्ठा लिखना है. डी ए, उसके बाद लिखें ई के बाद लिखें सी, और सी के बाद लिखें बी. अब ये क्या है, ये ऑर्डर है जिसमें ये लोग बोले हैं. ठीक है. अब राइट आंसर क्या है, एक हो गया बी, हिज फैमिली आर विलिंग टू हेल्प हिम. उसने क्या बोला, एट द एंड दे टुक पिटी ऑन मी. एंड ई है फॉर्मर एम्प्लॉयर. गवर्नमेंट उसने कहा 1 साल लगा और 6 महीने बाद उन्होंने मुझे रिजेक्ट कर दिया. कॉलेज इज गिविंग स्मॉल ग्रांट, उसने कहा वो स्मॉल है, इनसफिशिएंट है, उसको मैंने नहीं लिया. उसके बाद डी है, लोकल काउंसिल इज सपोर्टिंग हिम फॉर द लिमिटेड पीरियड. ही डिडंट से दैट लोकल काउंसिल इज सपोर्टिंग. अब मैं इसको दोबारा चलाऊंगा, गौर से सुनिएगा, देखिएगा. जो 3 ऑप्शन गलत है ना, जब आपको गलत ऑप्शन समझ आने लग गए ना कि ये ऑप्शन गलत है, तो सही ऑटोमेटिकली आ जाएगा. ठीक है. लेट्स स्टार्ट. 21, 22 अगेन.
Section 3. You will hear two students called Dan and Jeannie discussing their studies at university.
Hi Jeannie, how's it going?
Oh, hello Dan. Pretty well, thanks. Have you managed to get the money for the course yet?
Yes, that's all sorted out now, thanks. It took long enough though. It was practically a year ago that I applied to my local council for
A year ago I applied to my local council. अब ऑप्शन डी पे सब लोग आए और सुने.
grant, and it took them 6 months to turn me down.
It took them 6 months to turn me down. Turn down का क्या मतलब है? Reject कर देना, इनकार कर देना, ठीक है? So turn me down. हमने ऑप्शन डी को काट दिया. अब सब लोग आ जाएं ऑप्शन ए पे. Receiving money from the government. इसको सुने आप.
And I thought I was eligible for government funding, but it seems I was mistaken.
It seems I was mistaken. I thought I was eligible for government funding, but it seems I was mistaken कि मैं ही गलत सी. मैं ही गलत बंदा था, okay? So it's not even A. अब आप लोग आ जाएं E पे. Former employer is providing partial funding. इसको सुने आप.
So then I asked the boss of the company I used to work for.
Then I asked the boss of the company I used to work. Boss of the company I used to work का मतलब हो गया former employer. ठीक हो गया. और आगे क्या बोलते हैं?
Or if they would sponsor me, and much to my surprise, he said they'd make a contribution.
Much surprise, he said they would make a contribution. Means कि वो मान गए कि ठीक है तुम्हारी पढ़ाई पे हम पैसा लगाते हैं. तो आपका करेक्ट आंसर हो गया E. अब आप लोग आए ऑप्शन C पे. College is giving him small grant. सुनिएगा.
Scholarships. There must be some you could apply for.
Yes, there are, but they're all so small that I decided to leave them until I was desperate.
Okay, so they are so small, I decided to leave them until I am desperate. क्या मतलब है? जब तक मैं बहुत मजबूर नहीं हो जाता, तब तक मैं नहीं लूंगा. तो ये भी गलत हो गया. अब आप लोग आए ऑप्शन B, लास्ट ऑप्शन पे. इसको सुनिएगा.
And in fact, I didn't need to apply. My parents had been saying that as I already had a job, I ought to support myself through college. But in the end, they took pity on me, so now I've just about got enough.
That's good.
All right. In the end, they took pity on me. कि उनको मुझ पे तरस आ गया कि मतलब उन्होंने हाँ कर दी. ठीक हो गया. So B and E. और आंसर शीट पे क्या लिखने? 21 पे B लिख दें और 22 पे E लिख दें. और अगर आप 21 पे E लिख देते हैं, 22 पे B लिख देते हैं तो भी ठीक है. ठीक है ना? हाँ, दोनों तरह से ठीक. लेकिन कोशिश यही करें कि तरतीब से चलें. राइट? दैट इज बेटर. अच्छा जी, क्वेश्चंस 23 and 24. Choose two letters A to E. Which two reasons? अब अंडरलाइन करें रीजंस पे. अब उसने हमें रीजंस बतानी है. Which two reasons does Jenny, एक जेनी है एक डैन है, Dan and Jenny. So, which two reasons does Jenny give for deciding to leave some college clubs? अब क्या हुआ? Jenny ने कॉलेज के कुछ क्लब्स थे उनको छोड़ दिया. रीजन क्या बताती है? क्यों छोड़ा? 5 रीजंस हैं. 5 में से 2 रीजंस होंगी, बाकी 3 कहेगी वो प्रॉब्लम नहीं था. राइट? A, she is not sufficiently challenged. अंडरलाइन करें sufficiently challenged को. मतलब आप जॉगिंग पे जाते हैं, वो कहते हैं आहिस्ता आहिस्ता चलो, भागना नहीं है. यू आर नॉट सफिशिएंटली चैलेंज्ड. आप एक्सरसाइज करने जाते हैं, वो 1-2 पुशअप्स के बाद कहते हैं बस बैठ जाएं आप. तो सफिशिएंटली चैलेंज का मतलब है कि जब आपको दे रियली टेक यू थ्रू द सम स्ट्रेनवस थिंग. ओके. बी, एक्टिविटी इंटरफेसेस विद हर इंटरफियर्स विद हर स्टडीज. अब ये रीजन है कि उसने क्लब को छोड़ दिया कि क्लब की एक्टिविटीज उसकी स्टडी में इंटरफेयर कर रही हैं. राइट? सो एक्टिविटी इंटरफियर्स स्टडीज, ये 3 वर्ड अंडरलाइन कर लें. एक्टिविटी इंटरफियर्स स्टडीज. और ए में अंडरलाइन कर लें नॉट सफिशिएंटली चैलेंज्ड. सी में आ जाएं डज नॉट हैव इनफ टाइम. सिर्फ अंडरलाइन करें नॉट इनफ टाइम. नॉट इनफ टाइम. वो कहे जी मेरे पास टाइम ही नहीं है क्लब ज्वाइन करने का, इसलिए मैंने क्लब छोड़ दी है. और अगर वो कहती है टाइम तो मेरे पास है लेकिन क्लब की औकात नहीं है कि मैं उसको ज्वाइन करूं, देन दैट इज डिफरेंट. D, activity is too demanding physically. Activity too demanding physically का मतलब है कि आपको फिजिकली बड़ा काम करना पड़ता है. ठीक है? मैनुअल वर्क है बहुत ज्यादा. Too demanding physically. Option E, she does not think she is any good at this activity. So, not good at activity. कि क्लब की जो एक्टिविटी है वो उसमें, फर्ज करें क्लब की एक्टिविटी है बैडमिंटन, और बैडमिंटन उसको खेलना ही नहीं आती, तो वो इस तरह से बात करेंगे. ठीक है? अब ये 5 ऑप्शंस हैं. लेट्स जस्ट लिसन थ्रू द ऑडियो एंड देन वी डिसाइड व्हिच इज द राइट वन.
So now I can put a bit of effort into meeting people. Haven't had time so far. Any suggestions?
What about joining some college clubs?
Oh right, you joined several, didn't you?
Yes, I'm in the drama club. It's our first performance next week, so we're rehearsing frantically, and I've got behind with my work. But it's worth it. I'm hoping to be in the spring production too.
I've never liked acting. Are you doing anything else?
I enjoyed singing when I was at school, so I joined a group when I came to college. I don't think the conductor stretches us enough though, so I'll give up after the next concert. And I also joined the debating society. It's fun, but with all the rehearsing I'm doing, something has to go, and I'm afraid that's the one.
Do you do any sports?
Yes, I'm in one of the hockey teams. I'm not very good, but I'd really miss it if I stopped. I decided to try tennis when I came to college, and I'm finding it pretty tough going. I'm simply not fit enough.
Nor me. I think I'll give that a miss.
I'm hoping it'll help me to build up my stamina, but it'll probably be a long haul.
Good luck.
Thanks.
अच्छा, पता है क्या, कुछ क्लब्स हैं जिनको वो नहीं छोड़ रही, ठीक है, तो that will not be the answer. The question is 2 reasons does Jenny give for deciding to leave some clubs. अब जो क्लब्स वो छोड़ रही है, those clubs will be the answers. यानी ये थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है. ज़्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड क्यों है कि कुछ क्लब्स हैं जो फिजिकली डिमांडिंग भी हैं लेकिन वो उसको अच्छा लग रहा है. शी इज़ नॉट लीविंग देम. राइट नाउ अकॉर्डिंग टू यू व्हाट आर द राइट आंसर्स? A and C. Okay, that's right. I'll play it again, don't worry. A and C are the right answers. A is she is not sufficiently challenged. उसके लिए उसने word use किया is not stretching us so much. और C है she does not have enough time. Let's listen to this audio again.
So now I can put a bit of effort into meeting people. Haven't had time so far. Any suggestions?
What about joining some college clubs?
Oh, right. You joined several, didn't you?
Yes, I'm in the drama club. It's our first performance next week, so we're rehearsing frantically, and I've got behind with my work.
I got behind with my work. She's participating in drama club and all that. So, activity interferes with her studies? No. Yeah, and she's not leaving the club, actually. You got to see that whether she's leaving or not. Yeah.
But it's worth it.
It's worth it. It's worth it का मतलब है कि she is not leaving the club. आगे सुनिए.
And two,
I've never liked acting. Are you doing anything else?
I enjoyed singing when I was at school, so I joined a group when I came to college. I don't think the conductor stretches us enough though.
I don't think the conductor stretches us enough though. Option A, she is not sufficiently challenged. अब आगे क्या बोल रही है?
So I'll give up after the next concert.
I'll give up after the next concert. Give up का मतलब है छोड़ देना. So A is the right answer here. I'll give up after the next concert. इसको ना जाके हैंड्स फ्री लगा के आराम से सुनिएगा, एक एक वर्ड पे आगे पीछे करके सुनिएगा. You will understand everything. ठीक है? Yeah. अच्छा जी, आगे चलते हैं.
And I also joined the debating society. It's fun, but with all the rehearsing I'm doing, something has to go. And I'm afraid that's the one.
Do you...
Okay, with all the rehearsing I'm going, something has to go. Means she does not have enough time. Something has to go. C is the next right answer. Okay, now please come to questions 25 and 26. Let's see. What does Dan say about the seminars on the course? कि उनके कोर्स में सेमिनार्स हैं. So Dan उन सेमिनार्स के बारे में क्या कह रहे हैं? ऑप्शन ए, देख रहे हैं सब ऑप्शंस में आपको आर्टिकल नजर आ रहा है, आ, द एंड ऑल दैट. अब देखते हैं इसको शॉर्ट कैसे करना है. ऑप्शन ए, अदर स्टूडेंट्स डू नॉट गिव हिम अ चांस टू स्पीक, सो नो चांस टू स्पीक. सिंपल, नो चांस टू स्पीक और नॉट अ चांस टू स्पीक. ऑप्शन बी, सेमिनार्स मेक हिम फील इंफीरियर टू अदर स्टूडेंट्स, सेमिनार्स फील इंफीरियर और सेमिनार्स मेक हिम फील इंफीरियर, दैट्स इट. ऑप्शन सी, preparation for seminars takes too much time, so preparation takes too much time. अब ये देखना है what does Dan say about seminars. seminars के बारे में वो क्या कह रहा है. 3 options हैं.
How are you finding the course?
I wish we had more seminars.
What? I'd have thought we had more than enough already. All those people saying clever things that I could never think of. It's quite interesting, but I wonder if I'm clever enough to be doing this course.
All the people saying clever things that I cannot do. Like when others can do something and you cannot do that, how do you feel? You feel inferior. That's what he's saying. I'm playing this again.
How are you finding the course?
I wish we had more seminars.
What? I'd have thought we had more than enough already. All those people saying clever things that I could never think of.
That I could never think of means other people are saying clever things that I could never think of means they are superior, I'm feeling inferior, right?
It's quite interesting, but I wonder if I'm clever enough to be doing this course.
I find it helpful to listen to the other people. I like the way we're exploring the subject and working towards getting insight into it.
Yeah, but we are interested in Dan. That the lady said, what the lady said, that will not be the answer because there is Dan there, not Ginny. Question number 26. What does Jenny say about the tutorials on the course? Now you will listen to Jenny. And what does she say about tutorials on the course? Option A, inefficient way of providing guidance. Inefficient way of providing guidance. Option B, more challenging than she expected. More challenging than expected. Got it? And option C, helping her develop study skills. Okay, so what does Jenny say about tutorials? Question number 26.
How do you get on with your tutor? I don't think I'm on the same wavelength as mine, so I feel I'm not getting anything out of the tutorials. It would be more productive to read a book instead.
Oh, mine's very demanding. She gives me lots of feedback and advice, so I've got much better at writing essays.
I've got much better at writing essays. So helping her to develop her study skills.
And she's helping me plan my revision for the end of year exams.
Do tell me, I always struggle with revision.
She's helping me plan my revision, essays and all that. So that is study skills, option C. Okay, now we have flowchart. Questions 27 to 30. Complete the flowchart below. Choose no more than 2 words and or a number. Now flowcharts are very common in IELTS reading and IELTS listening. Very simple. There will be something, then arrow, and sometimes that arrow goes down, otherwise down, then right, then top, then left. We did another one before, so it's just like that. Complete the flowchart below. Choose no more than 2 words and or a number for each answer. Advice on exam preparation. Now the whole talk is advice for exam preparation. First 2 points do not have any questions. So it means the audio will start and continue for some time. Make sure you know the exam requirements. Find some past papers. Question number 27. Work out your dash for revision and write them on a card. Now there is something you need to work out and then you have to write that thing on a card. So whatever you have to write and work out, that will be your answer. Now please listen. Question number 27.
Well, the first thing is to find out exactly what's required in the exams.
Would it help to get hold of some past papers?
Yes, they'll help to make it clear.
Right, I'll do that. Then what?
Then you can sort out your revision priorities based on what's most likely to come up.
Your revision priorities, and they said priorities for revision. Now please underline priorities for revision, and for that they said revision priorities. This is very common in IELTS. Like for example, you say food for adults. Food for adults, they will write adult food. Right? Yeah. Next, question number 28. Make a dash and keep it in view. Make something. For make, they might say create. Right? Make something, create something, set up. They can even use the word set up. A means answer will be singular. Sometimes articles will also help you. So make a dash and keep it in view. Keep it in view means consider it. Let's see, 28.
I put these on a card and read them through regularly. But that isn't enough in itself. You also need a timetable to see how you can fit everything in the time available. Then keep it in front of you while you're studying.
Keep it in
I've
front
done that
of you.
before, but it hasn't helped me.
Timetable. Well done. I play this one again. I see question mark on some faces.
I put these on a card and read them through regularly. But that isn't enough in itself. You also need a timetable to...
You also need a timetable. Make a timetable. You also need a timetable. Same thing. So you also need and make They are similar words. Answer is timetable. If it is one word only, you can write it together, timetable. Otherwise, with space, it's fine. Okay, question number 29. Divide revision into dash for each day. Divide revision into dash for each day. Maybe it can be devised revision into parts for each day or portions for each day. Let's see, 29.
Maybe you need to do something different every day. So if you break down your revision into small tasks and allocate them to specific days...
Break down your revision into... Excellent. So break down your revision into... For divide, what is the word? Break down. Write it down. Divide and break down. Small tasks. I play this one again.
Maybe you need to do something different every day. So if you break down your revision into small tasks and allocate them to specific days, there's more...
Okay, allocate them to specific days for that for each day. Okay, let's go on. Question number 30. Write one dash about each topic. Write maybe one sentence about each topic, one book, one line, one paragraph, one page about each topic, something like that. This time number will help you. And whenever they use one, for one they usually use a or they use single. A or single. Now focus the word single and you will get your answer, whatever that is.
And as I revise each topic, I write a single paragraph about it. Then later I can read it through quickly.
I write a single paragraph about it. So you will not write single, you will write paragraph. One paragraph. Okay. Yes, you can. It is not wrong if you write single paragraph. Yeah. Alright. Part 3. Now we have real multiple choice questions where out of 3 you have to select one option. Presentation about refrigeration. Now what is refrigeration? Fridge. So they have a presentation about refrigeration, the history of refrigeration, of fridges and all that. What did Annie discover from reading about ice houses? So what did Annie discover? Now Annie discovered something. Try to listen and understand. These type of phrases and words will repeat. What did Annie discover? Discover means she learned something new. What she already knew, will that be the answer? No, what she didn't know and she learned, that will be the answer. Discover means something you didn't know and then you discover about it. Okay, so what did Annie discover from reading about ice houses? Option A, why they were created, reasons to create ice houses. If she says, well, I already knew the reasons to create the refrigerators or ice houses, they are using the word, so then A is not the right answer. And then say, what I didn't realize before, why were they created actually? Then A is the right answer. B, how ice was kept frozen. If she says, I didn't know about that, how ice remained frozen for a long time, or how ice was kept frozen. And option C, where they were located. They means ice houses, location of ice houses. Now out of 3 things, 2 things she knew already, 1 thing, and she's going to use the word, what I had not realized before, what I didn't know before, what I had no idea about, and then there'll be the answer. So let's see.
Okay, Jack. Before we plan our presentation about refrigeration, let's discuss what we've discovered so far.
Fine, Annie. Though I have to admit I haven't done much research yet.
Nor me. But I found an interesting article about ice houses. I'd seen some 18th and 19th century ones here in the UK, so I knew they were often built in a shady area or underground, close to lakes that might freeze in the winter. Then blocks of ice could be cut and stored in the ice house. But I didn't realise that insulating the blocks with straw or sawdust meant they didn't melt for months.
I didn't realize before that using soda or sawdust and then the ice didn't melt for months. How ice was kept frozen. Just listen to it again, please.
OK, Jack. About ice houses. I'd seen some 18th and 19th century ones here in the UK, so I knew they were often built in a shady area.
I knew they were often built. That is location. Option C. Where they were located. She said, I knew.
Or underground, close to lakes that might freeze in the winter. Then blocks of ice could be cut and stored in the ice house. But I didn't realise that insulating the blocks with
Okay, but I didn't realize that insulating the blocks with
straw or
sawdust
meant they didn't melt for months.
meant they didn't melt for months. Didn't melt for months means how ice was kept frozen. And option A was not discussed. Now, question number 22. What point does Annie make about refrigeration in ancient Rome? After this, they will talk about ancient Rome and Annie is going to make a point. Now, you will not listen to Jack carefully, you will listen to Annie. Option A, became a common business. For common business, commercial business. For commercial business, they can use any other word. It became a profession or they created ice for professional use or for something like that. Commercial business, underline commercial business. Option B, it used snow from nearby. Now, if they say in ancient Rome, they used snow from far-flung areas, far-off areas. That is the opposite of nearby. And if they say in the surrounding areas, surrounding area means nearby, then this will be the right answer. Option C, it took a long time to become popular. So if they say its popularity took ages or after many centuries, people started to use them or anything like that. So Annie is going to make a point about refrigeration in ancient Rome.
The ancient Romans had refrigeration too.
I didn't know that.
Yes, pits were dug in the ground and snow was imported from the mountains. Even though they were at quite a distance, the snow was stored in the pits. Ice formed at the bottom of it. Both the ice and the snow were then sold. The ice cost more than the snow, and my guess is that only the wealthy members of society could afford it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
B is used snow from nearby. They use the opposite of that. Right? And option C, it took a long time to become popular, was not discussed very clearly. So it's option A, it became a commercial business. And what is the wording for commercial business?
The ancient Romans had
Cost this much and that much. Listen.
refrigeration too.
I didn't know that.
Yes, pits were dug in the ground and snow was imported from the mountains, even though they were at quite a distance.
Even though they were at quite a distance, snow was brought from the mountains. So used snow from nearby? No. Quite a distance. B is the wrong answer.
The snow was stored in the pits. Ice formed at the bottom of it. Both the ice and the snow were then sold.
Both the ice and snow were then sold.
The ice cost more than the snow.
The ice cost more than the snow means it became a commercial business. They were sold. They were sold means it became a commercial business. So A is the right answer. In connection with modern refrigerators, both Annie and Jack are worried about. Now both are worried about something in connection with modern refrigerators. Think about the refrigerators that you have in your house. Okay. So Annie and Jack both are worried about what? Option A, complexity of technology. Complexity of technology. Now, if the technology is complex and they are worried about it, worried means concerned. They are concerned about it, then A is the right answer. Fact that some are disposed of irresponsibly. Some means refrigerators. So some means some refrigerators are disposed of irresponsibly. What do the people do? They throw the refrigerators into the ocean. For example, if they have old and outdated refrigerator, they buy a new one. Now they don't sell old one like we do. Okay, they throw it in the in the ocean, or somewhere they throw it outside, right? Yeah. Okay, next C, large number that quickly break down. Now, large number means large number of refrigerators that quickly break down. Break down means the life of refrigerator is very short. After 2-3 years, you have to replace it. Okay, so breakdown means to go out of order. Now, if they say they don't break down easily, or they last for 20 years, 10 years, 15 years, that's the long time. Now, please listen and decide.
I also came across an article about modern domestic fridges. Several different technologies are used, but they were too complex for me to understand.
You have to wonder what happens when people get rid of old ones.
You mean because the gases in them are harmful for the environment?
Exactly. At least there are now plenty of organisations that will recycle most of the components safely. But of course, some people just dump old fridges in the countryside.
It's hard to see how they can be stopped, unfortunately. In the UK, we get rid of 3 million a year altogether.
That sounds a lot, especially because fridges hardly ever break down.
That's right.
Now, C. Well done. Very good. Very good. No. A. Excellent. दो चोर पकड़े आज हमने. All right. A wala B or C. And you know, when you have the wrong answer, C. Yes, C. Good. Yeah, well done. Canada, I'm coming. Okay. Not like this. Now, I tell you why A is wrong. I tell you why C is wrong. And I tell you why B is the right answer. How many of you wrote B? Good, very good. Now others are also raising. Likhna to B hi tha na. Okay. So the order is ABC. Simple order ABC. Please listen again.
I also came across an article about modern domestic fridges. Several different technologies are used.
Several different technologies are used.
But they were too complex for me to understand.
They were too complex for me to understand. Technology is not complex. He is stupid. Okay? Yeah, sometimes things are not difficult. You are silly, right? So they are too difficult for me to understand. Complexity of technology? No. He said they are too complex for me to understand. So he is dumb. Technology is, they didn't say it's the complex technology. So that is why A is the wrong answer.
You have rid of old ones.
You mean because the gases in them are harmful for the environment?
Exactly. At least there are now plenty of organisations that will recycle most of the components safely. But of course, some people just dump old fridges in the countryside.
Some people dump old fridges in the countryside. And now let's see, how do we understand they both are worried? Some people throw their fridges in the countryside.
It's hard to see how they can be stopped, unfortunately.
It's hard to see how they can be stopped, unfortunately. Both are worried about it. Okay?
In the UK, we get rid of 3 million a year altogether.
That sounds a lot.
In UK, we get 3 million fridges a year. That sounds a lot. So both are worried about it. 3 million fridges every year. Where will they throw them? Right? Yeah. Now, option C, large number that quickly break down. She speaks opposite to that.
Especially
In the UK, we get rid of 3 million a year altogether.
that sounds a lot. Especially because fridges hardly ever break down.
That's right.
Fridges hardly ever break down. Large number that quickly. Opposite of quickly is fridges hardly ever break down. Fridge तो कभी खराब ही नहीं होती. ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਹੀ ਇਸਤੇਮਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ. Okay? So, C is the wrong answer. Question number 24. What do Jack and Annie agree? Now, where they agree, first they were concerned, now they are going to agree regarding domestic fridges, the fridges that we use in our house, domestic fridges. So, what do they agree about domestic fridges? They are generally good value for money. Underline good value for money. Means if you spend money on that, it's good value for money. Like something you buy and you spend, and the money is well spent. Good value for money. Option B, there are plenty of useful variations. There are plenty of useful variations. Underline plenty of useful variations. And what are we talking about? Domestic fridges. So it means there are plenty of useful variations in domestic fridges. Option C, They are more useful. They means domestic fridges. Domestic fridges are more useful than other domestic appliances. If they say fridge is the most important part of a household as compared to washing machine and microwave oven. For example, so washing machine and microwave oven is other domestic appliances, right? Now let's see what do they say and where do they agree. And for agreement say, oh yes, you are right. You got the point. I think so as well. Something like that.
In this country, we keep domestic fridges for 11 years on average, and a lot lasts for 20 or more. So if you divide the cost by the number of years you can use a fridge, they're not expensive, compared with some household appliances.
True. I suppose manufacturers encourage people to spend more by making them different colours and designs. I'm sure when my parents bought their first fridge, they had hardly any choice.
Yes, there's been quite a change.
B. Very good. No. Alright, correct answer is A. They are generally good value for money. 11 years and the price is this and all that. Now let's see why options B and C they are wrong.
In this country, we keep domestic fridges for 11 years on average, and a lot lasts for 20 or more. So if you divide the cost by the number of years you can use a fridge, they're not expensive.
Okay, if you divide the cost and the number of years that you use, it's not expensive means generally good value for money. When something is not expensive, it's a good value for money. A is the right answer. Okay, let's go on.
Compared with some household appliances.
Compared to some household appliances. Now they did not say fridge is more useful than other. They said compared to other household appliances, fridges have a long life and they are good value for money. That's why C is wrong.
True. I suppose manufacturers encourage people to spend more by making them different colours and designs.
By making them different colors and designs. Now colors and designs are not useful variations. Variations are like you have deep freezer, you have fridge, you have another double door fridge and you have this and that. Those are variations. But they say only there are plenty of useful variations. There is no variation, it's only color and design. And color and design, they are only two variations and two are not plenty of. Okay, that's why B is the wrong answer. So in multiple choice questions, they check your ability to escape from wrong information and reach the right information. Okay guys, questions 25 to 30. Who is going to do research into each topic? There are topics and who is going to do research? It's again same Annie, Jack and both, right? Yeah. So where Annie is going to work alone, if Annie says, leave it to me, that means Annie. If Jack says, well, Annie, you got expertise in that. Why don't you do it? She says, okay. Answer is Annie. And if Annie says, well, Jack, I think you should do that. And he says, well, I'm not sure. I don't know about it. Then Annie says, okay, no problem. I'm doing you a favor. Means, bache roti khwani. Alright? Yeah, exactly. That's what we say. So, now, what you do, you don't need to read the options because options are people. And answer is not going to be Annie, Jack or both. Answer is A, B, C. Question number 25. Goods that are refrigerated. Now, this is the part of their presentation. By the way, what type of goods are refrigerated apart from your Eid meat? Huh? Have you noticed medicine, vegetables? And have you noticed now even flowers are refrigerated? Yeah, the other day I went to buy some flowers. So he opened the thing and then he took out flowers from there. So flowers, medicine, what else? Fruits, vegetables and all that. So goods that are refrigerated. Now, by the way, that was something extra. Who is going to do this part of presentation? A is Annie, A for Annie. And B for Jack. And C for both. C for both.
Right, let's make a list of topics to cover in our presentation and decide who's going to do more research on them. Then later we can get together and plan the next step.
Okay.
So, What is the answer? Thank you. Goodness, thank you. You know, there are some eager beavers. B. Okay, that's great. So at least you guys understand that. This is what I wanted to check. Good, very good. Lovely. Thank you. Idhar rakh de. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so let's go on.
How about starting with how useful refrigeration is and the range of goods that are refrigerated nowadays? Because, of course, it's not just food and drinks.
No, I suppose flowers and medicines are refrigerated too.
And computers. I could do that, unless you particularly want to.
No, that's fine by me.
I could do that unless you particularly want to. No, that's fine by me. That's fine for me. So I could do that. And whose voice was that? Annie. Answer is A. Got it? Okay. Question number 26. Effects on health. Effects of what on health? Effects of? Yeah, their research refrigeration on health.
What about the effects of refrigeration on people's health? After all, some of the chemicals used in the 19th century were pretty harmful, but there have been lots of benefits too, like always having access to fresh food. Do you fancy dealing with that?
I'm not terribly keen, to be honest.
Nor me. My mind just goes blank when I read anything about chemicals.
Oh, all right then. I'll do you a favour. But you owe me, Jack.
No. Both. Huh? A? Alright. Well, the right answer is A. I'll do you a favor. You owe me, Jack. You owe me, Jack means roti khwani. Okay? I'll do you a favor. You owe me, Jack. Now, Jack said my mind goes blank. Listen to Jack. I told you he's stupid, huh?
What about the effects of refrigeration on people's health? After all, some of the chemicals used in the 19th century were pretty harmful, but there have been lots of benefits too, like always having access to fresh food. Do you fancy dealing with that?
I'm not terribly keen, to be honest.
Do you fancy dealing with that? I'm not terribly keen and all that. So it means we don't know until now.
Nor me.
Nor me.
My mind just goes blank when I...
My mind just goes blank. They don't have option D, none. Okay? So it means one is going to do that, okay?
read anything.
All right then.
My mind just goes blank when I read anything about chemicals.
Oh, all right then. I'll do you a favour.
All right then, I'll do you a favor means I will do it. I'll do you a favor and
But you owe me, Jack.
you owe me, Jack. And then they say, okay, we get married at the end. So some are really excited. When we go there, there will be Annie. And I will be the Jack. Okay, I'll be Jack and then we'll have a talk and all that. Okay, let's go on. So 25A, 26A. 27, impact on food producers. Impact of refrigeration on food producers.
Okay. What about the effects on food producers? Like farmers in poorer countries being able to export their produce to developed countries. Something for you, maybe?
I don't mind. It should be quite interesting.
Something for you, maybe? I don't mind. It should be quite interesting. So answer is, and who said I don't mind? Jack. It would be quite interesting. B is the right answer. Impact on cities. Question number 28. Impact of refrigeration on city.
I think we should also look at how refrigeration has helped whole cities. Like Las Vegas, which couldn't exist without refrigeration because it's in the middle of a desert.
Right. I had a quick look at an economics book in the library that's got a chapter about this sort of thing. I could give you the title if you want to do this section.
Not particularly, to be honest. I find economics books pretty heavy going as a rule.
Okay, leave it to me then.
Thanks.
Okay, leave it to me then. Exactly. It's option B. Leave it to me then. Question number 29. Refrigerated transport.
Then there's transport and the difference that refrigerated trucks have made. I wouldn't mind having a go at that.
Don't forget trains too. I read something about milk and butter being transported in refrigerated railroad cars in the USA right back in the 1840s.
I hadn't thought of trains. Thanks.
No. B. Very good. And I heard one C. Huh? Okay. Correct answer is A. I tell you why.
Then there's transport and the difference that refrigerated trucks have made. I wouldn't mind having a go at that.
I wouldn't mind having a go at that. I wouldn't mind. And then he said add trains also.
Don't forget trains too.
Don't forget trains too. Who is going to do it? Annie. I don't mind having a go at that. Annie will do that. And then he explains it. Annie is going to do that.
I read something about milk and butter being transported in refrigerated railroad cars in the USA right back in the 1840s.
I hadn't thought of trains. Thanks.
All right. I haven't thought of trains. Thanks. Question number 30. Domestic fridges. Now, who is going to do that?
Shall we have a separate section on domestic fridges? After all, they're something everyone's familiar with.
What about splitting it into two? You could investigate 19th and 20th century fridges, and I'll concentrate on what's available these days, and how manufacturers differentiate their products from those of their competitors.
Okay, that'd suit me.
What about splitting it into you do this and I'll do that? That is option C. Both Annie and Jack.